Hi, Warriors. Last full trading week of the year. Then the next couple weeks are broken up with Christmas and New Year's. So let's make hay. Who's going to be making hay with us at Forex Analytics, at Trading Analytics? Okay. Hi, Simon. Oh, thank you, buddy. Same to you, my trading warrior brother. Hi, Brian, AJ. Oh, thanks, AJ. Yeah, it was like NVIDIA 2.0. James Graham, Groom, how are you? Ryan's here. K-Man's here. Andrew, Ingmar, Hugo, morning. Blake's here. We have a whole team. Uh, okay, good morning, Steve and Hugo. Not sure about hay, but this might be the. You're good, Ryan. All right. I don't think so. You're a young man. You have plenty of time to make your fortune. You will too. And if not, you're teaching people how to do it. That's for sure. I know a lot of people that have learned some of my stuff are better traders than me. So,
Ryan, you get a red flag this morning.
The
red flag?
red flag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For what?
Not sure about hay, but this might be the last straw. No, you get a yellow. It's a yellow.
Oh,
I
yellow
thought
card. Oh,
I
yellow
Yeah.
thought it
card.
was.
Yellow
I,
card. Yellow card.
Yeah.
Sorry,
all
I'm
right.
flagged. Sorry.
All right. So
It's
everyone's
Monday
getting
morning.
ready for FIFA already. So before FIFA, Ryan, what the hell do you do with the euro here? You have levels above it. You know, you just launch and get long euro this week. What do you think?
Well, we've certainly got levels here. I mean, we're just knocking around the 61.8 of the move since September, the dip since September. That's really got to be the focus from here. Can we get back to those highs, 118s up towards that 119 area?
Yeah.
And I think there's the possibility that we can do. It could happen tomorrow with the
Yeah.
NFT data. If it's a bit of a shocker, I'm talking minus 200,000 or something, and that's November's number. Then we could be well on our way up there.
What's the expectation? Would that be a shocker?
I don't actually know what the expectation is. I haven't looked at it actually.
All right.
I'll have to get back to you on that one, Dale.
Okay. All right. Bring a note from your mom. That
Yeah, I'll do.
that you
I'll go and get my
were.
sources.
Did the wind blew away your homework? Ever
Dog
use
ate
that
it.
one?
Yeah,
Oh
dog
yeah,
ate it.
I use the dog too. That's a good one. And so pretty much the same scenario here for cable. It's a
Yeah.
little weaker. I mean, uh, seems to be a little weaker. You still like the way EG is shaping up, or is this going to be another failure? Are we going to grind down again? This
No, I think the path for this one is still higher. That's not just book talking. Obviously, we've got the ECB and Bank of England this week, so probably Euro
Oh
Sterling
wow,
is probably
yeah,
the best pair to watch
okay.
in terms of what's happening over to those. And yeah, the ECB is going to be on hold. No expectation there. They do update their forecast, so there might be some news there. I also want to see a bit like I mentioned with the Bank of Canada last week, whether we get any pushback on some sort of hawkish pricing that we currently seem to be seeing for a lot of central banks. So yeah, that if we get that, that might keep the euro sort of under pressure. If they don't push back, again, that's a bit of a green light for the euro to rally on.
Yeah, and we're approaching this significant level in USD CAD here. I
Massive,
think
massive.
looks.
I'm definitely going to be looking at trading that one. But obviously got to watch out for the data. We've got Canadian CPI today in about 25 minutes, and then obviously the US NFP tomorrow. I think if we can come through both of those, see what side of that line we're on. If we're above it, I think I'm going to try a little long.
All right, thank you, brother. All right,
Pleasure as
so
always.
really the big events BOJ this week, right?
Yeah, that's another big one. So we've got the ECB, BOE, BOJ,
Yeah,
Banksico.
Well, all of
There might
them.
be another couple in there. So yeah,
Norges.
yeah, Norges. So yeah, we've got them all in there this week, and yeah, that BOJ is going to be very, very important.
Yeah, during the weak dollar phase, USD NOK has been holding up pretty good, don't you think? It
Yeah,
seems to have a little more of a spring in its step
yeah,
than a
it's doing
lot
a
of
little bit better.
yeah,
It, it's a bit silent. It's probably one of the few pairs that's not doing an awful lot at the moment.
yeah,
You know, if you consider it on the commodity side, look at something like, you know, just looking at dollar CAD.
yeah,
Excuse me. Look at dollar MEX. You know,
yeah,
that's falling out of bed.
yeah. And this
And
one too that Blake said had like a trap door open on the Rand.
yeah, yeah.
Blake
I mean,
brought that up last week when it was right at the breakdown.
exactly. And we were talking about that with dollar mix as well. When you
Yeah,
know, I thought it was going to have a little flush if it broke those lows, but it got to 18.15. Then it sort of held and it bounced back up again. And then last week we did get the flush down to 18, and it's trying to break 18 at the moment, which I think if that confirms, we're heading for another big leg lower.
okay, so most money still being made on the short side of the dollar. I'm going to go to Mr. Yen for
Morning.
good morning, buddy. So I was a little surprised to see the yen this morning. I'm trying it,
Uh,
and because it's so close to where I get out. That's the main reason. Under this low from a week ago or so,
mm.
I wouldn't want to be long. Is the market's acting like instead of testing the BOJ, at least right now, they
Mm.
think the BOJ might be effective with whatever they're going to do.
Um, I'm not sure that the market is really in test mode for the BOJ. It has been, of course, for the MOF also. It has been over the past weeks, since Takaichi a couple of months since Takaichi got elected. But yeah, this week, I don't know. I mean, there's also said that they will finally start to sell some of their ETFs. It could be that we're a little bit of a pause for yen weakness, and until we see obviously what's going to happen on those U.S. reports, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
going to be a big one. Now we have the FOMC behind us. They didn't know about the numbers upcoming, I trust. So there's a lot that can happen in dollar yen this week. And again, I'm going to use yen crosses to really see how strong or weak the yen is going to come out of this.
They're
Because
under pressure here.
the
So
whole market expects, yeah, and that's why I was saying on the flow show as well. I'm a little less bearish, outright bearish yen to go into this week, because could be that the market is just reflecting a bit. Yeah, the Bank of Japan will hike, probably leaving the door open for at least one more. But then that's until potentially Friday, because the numbers were pretty good in Japan this morning. But let's see what happens afterwards, or yeah, because it's going to, we could enter like real intervention territory. Imagine that we get a good jobs report tomorrow, and the market starts to shrug off already the expectation of that rate hike in the Bank of Japan. Then we could obviously be in like severe testing mode of MOF's resolvers. But to start the week, I'm just patient, you know. I'm not like dying to buy a deep in Dorian, for instance. I want to see those numbers first tomorrow out of the US.
yeah, wouldn't it be a little bit of egg on your face if we had strong numbers after the Fed acted before they saw them?
It for sure will. We'll have people thinking about those two extra cuts,
Yeah.
and is but what's going to happen on those year-end flows as well? I really am. I mean, this is one of those year ends where I have little conviction. Last year was pretty clear and obvious, but I have little conviction. I'm I don't have much to do in the dollar right now, but it would be. I mean, if you have a report that's better, quite a bit better than expected. Well, I don't even see an expectations of a number on one of the
Yeah,
calendars, two of the calendars I'm looking at. They don't have any expectations for tomorrow number, but yeah, it would be a bit egg on your face indeed,
yeah,
for the pricing of the bond market at least.
okay. Um,
But
so
I mean, to come back on what you were talking about with Ryan earlier, I think it's going to be a really big week for sterling this week. Tomorrow we have unemployment, the day after CPI, and then the next day, or yeah, and the day after Bank of England. So it should be a really big week for sterling this week.
okay. Um, my vote is you know, I think we're topping here. It
Mm.
would be nice to see it take out this 3.5, and 2.5 is real big, right? That's the one. Once we got through 2.5, I think that could happen. But under 2.5, I think that we could
Well,
maybe test.
tomorrow could already be a big day because we have the both jobs reports, right? As well in the
Yeah,
UK as in the US. So
yeah.
get opposite directions. Cable should be really on the move tomorrow.
I would consider. I took some off. I'd consider selling you know, a fib bounce here in cable. That maybe we don't make a new high, but
Mm.
so
I
in
mean,
this range and be wrong over the high,
yeah,
something like
I'm
that.
still long euro sterling because I don't know what to think about. Don't know what to think about the dollar going into that jobs report. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. I mean, if we don't get above, I think the stopping cable if you want to be short is over 134.5. Breaks are over
Right.
134.5. It's I think then we are going to see a rally into year end really.
Okay. Aussie failed to take out prior highs.
Yeah.
That my stops are still above these highs. Yeah. Any vibe here on Aussie?
Yeah, just 66 and a quarter. We had yeah, you're on the daily. So if you go a little shorter, we see several attempts after we went above that level, 60, yeah, there, 66 and a quarter. That's really where it has to hold. If it doesn't hold 66 and a quarter, then maybe the party is over for the Aussie. By the way, I was long Aussie Kiwi from down low 114s. I took my profit today because we stopped that 115.15 in Aussie Kiwi is a bit of a level and tried but didn't break, so I went out of that one. So I'm not long Aussie anymore.
Okay. All right. That's a switch. Take note. Take note, face. Okay. You have any comment on risk? We know risk got obliterated
Strange move on
Friday.
Friday. I mean, what was all that about? I mean, at the
Look what
same
it held.
time, hmm?
Look at what it held. There's a trap
Yeah,
door.
very. It did hold very well, but I mean, what was that all about? I mean, all of a
Oracle.
sudden in the S&P, gold, silver, they all got an absolute smack on the head,
Yeah.
to then start to crawl back slowly again.
It was because of this. This was the last great hope in semis.
Yeah.
And these were the earnings before the next day. And, you know, this
And
was one of the
Oracle.
last. So,
The
yeah, and
Oracle
or,
earnings were the day before,
yeah,
too.
Yeah, but
yeah.
that I mean was a bit of a strange move, I think, on Friday when all of it went together. Yeah, some maybe somebody, yeah, a big let go in whatever they had, equities and gold and silver, but gold and silver are already back to the levels, right?
Yes. So that's how you could tell by, everything that got hit, what's really recovering and what's really not recovering much. That should give you some clues. But
Mm.
yeah, I guess we could throw our charts out for a while tomorrow with the numbers,
Yeah,
right?
flip a coin
Okay.
tomorrow.
All right. Blake, what are your impressions about what happened Friday in risk?
You
Great
know,
to buy?
I think it's just end of year stuff. I think there's just a lot of flows that are just going through. It was a Friday afternoon, not a lot of liquidity. I mean, the fact of the matter is gold just came down right to the level where it should have and bounced. I was actually filming the week ahead video, and I was gold. I can't remember if gold was one of my my trade
Right
setups that
here. You're talking
every
about
week
this.
I give 3 trade setups and I review the previous week. So if you guys don't watch the week ahead video, I give you like 3 setups, and like I said, I review the ones from the previous week. It's just a process I go through at the end of the video. And I was actually looking at gold. I have to go back and check my notes here. But we were sitting on support. I'm like, this is where you need to be buying gold, like right now. And as I was filming the video, because it's like we were just testing the range breakout point. So
Yeah.
that was that spike low that you see on that red candle, that red candle right there. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
So
it.
there you go.
Yeah, I
Prior
mean,
high,
yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
Classic.
it was a month-long range, and we broke out of the range. We tested it and bounced perfectly from it. And like K-Man just pointed out, we were just right back up. So I think it's oh yeah, it was my third trade setup. It says buy any dip in gold to 42.70. That was what I
Nice.
said on Friday. So I mean, it was there and it gave you that look. And I think those are just opportunities. Probably going into year end, I would assume that no one wants to be on the short side of gold. And when you look at these trends that are so strong, it's like why fade them? Like why at the end of the year when liquidity starts to get worse every day that we go through this week, liquidity is going to get worse and worse and worse. And if you have a trend that's really strong, why would you want to get in front of it right now?
Yeah,
I don't
this time period
see.
reminds me of August when everyone's on vacation and markets
Mm-hmm.
are thin.
Yep.
And that's when you could really have exaggerated moves. I mean, one August a year and a half ago was the last time we had carry trade pressure. And they
Yeah.
got to the market pretty good because everyone was on vacation. And these last few weeks, um, you know, uh, it's easier to drive the market to extremes. Doesn't take as much money to move things.
Every year I would you remember Dale when we first started um, Forex Analytics and you were around in the beginning, and I would leave to New York to go
Oh
to
yeah,
New York to go to the offices of or I go to Florida and New York to go to the offices of the firm that I was trading for the holidays, and I would leave this week, usually around Thursday or Friday, and for the company party that would be on Friday or Saturday or whatever it was. I can't tell you how many 200-300 pip moves happened this week because liquidity just gets really bad,
yeah.
and the moves are just strong. You start getting just moves. So you gotta. They're hard to explain. I don't think you could really
It's
make sense of anything that you see. You just
yeah,
have to
but well,
not get in front of it.
I think they do make sense. It's just year end. The big money managers managing their books, and you get flows, and there's since most of them are modeled now. They're working on models. Most of those models are showing the same thing, so they need to hedge the same instruments. So all the bigger flows are all pretty much one-sided. That's what
Again, their flows. I
typically.
agree, K-Man. They make sense in that respect, but they don't normally. Well, sometimes they just don't even make sense, like from a macro point of view. It's just
No, of
flow
course
driven.
not. No, no.
Right. So I remember, I want to go back to like 2016 or 17. I remember that the stock market was just under pressure at the end of the year. And then all of a sudden, the Aussie did like a 400 pip rally out of nowhere at this time of the year.
That was when Kramer did his rant, and I think it was Paul hiked, and then had a meeting with uh, Yellen and Bernanke, and he reversed his policy. I remember that year. That's when they've straightened him out. They sang "Kumbaya," and you didn't hear about higher rates from him and for like 3 years after that.
Kramer's pretty good at that. So It's just,
Oh,
he's
into
just
my portfolio today.
he's pretty good. He's pretty
Yeah,
good at that. Anyway,
yeah.
yeah, and this is I can actually show
Okay.
you exactly where it is, and I remember this like just like it was yesterday. Let me go over to here. You can see the S&P back in 2018, and all of a sudden, the Aussie dollar. This is the Aussie. This is the S&P, right? S&P selling off. The Aussie was selling off, and all of a sudden, the Aussie just turned, and it. I mean, the reversal that we saw here was just out of control. But it was end of year
Yeah.
flows. I mean, it just. I mean, when it's flow driven like that, you just kind of get out of the way. I don't. If you see, I've told people this for the last couple weeks. Like when you're in the markets this time of year, if you see like a breakout and it starts to develop, don't get in front of it because you don't know what's behind that move, and like what kind of money is behind that move. So that's the one thing that I highly recommend is just if you see something happening and it starts to go against you, don't stick around for long because you just don't know how far it's going to go. And if you happen to get into a trade and it does develop nicely and it starts breaking out, it takes some off and then try to ride the rest because you don't know how far it's going to go either. So I think these are really interesting times, but we also have a lot of data that can move the market this week
Well,
as
I
you
was
guys
just
have been
about to say
pointing.
that the good news is, Blake, that volatility is picking up a little bit at the moment. I'll keep an eye on the, things like the euro dollar vols, and they were nose diving below 5% last week, but we're back above 5% and creeping up a bit. So there's going to be plenty of volatility. Well, better volatility, shall we say, this week. Keep an eye on that. And just to go back to Dale, 50K is what's being expected for the November NFP. Just
Plus,
to
plus.
and we also get the October out the October out, which has some calling for like minus 45,000 or something. So
By the
dummy
way,
homework.
have you guys put in your payrolls guesses? Because if you win, we're giving away a few things, aren't we?
Yes, you're giving away a few things.
Yeah, there. Hey, no, you are. You're part of this too. Anyway, this is what we're doing is we're giving away some 30-minute coaching sessions, 45 days to access to Forex Analytics, 30 days access to Forex Analytics. Ryan, can you post that in the chat in our chat
Already
here?
done. Already
Oh,
done.
okay. So you guys should put in your number. I already voted for 11,000. I think we're gonna create jobs. We're just not gonna create as many jobs as the market hopes. So I already put in my number. What'd you guess, Kay?
You can see it right there.
Oh, there you go. 0.11K.
Exactly.
That's
Wow.
zero. We round down.
Yeah, I was gonna
Now
say
it's 110 jobs.
110 jobs. Okay. Ryan, what's your vote?
Oh, I'm keeping my number close to my chest. I haven't
Are you
decided yet.
pulling a Michael Brown right now?
I am. I am.
Dad, that's bullshit. You can't
I'm
do
waiting for
that.
him,
You're
and then I'm
you're
going to
putting.
post.
You're the one doing this.
Hey,
Is that
deadline's tomorrow.
Oh God, Dale's got to put down his guess. I don't see his in there. I don't see Steve's in there. All right, well, you don't play, you don't win. It's kind of like the lottery here. Can't win if you don't play.
yeah,
All right. Well, hey, let's talk a little bit about this Canadian dollar. How weak is the dollar CAD right now? I mean,
yeah.
we have this in. I mean, we had this. Whoops. This was just a perfect butterfly setup, and then right when it got to here, and then it just continued lower to the 618. And look, I mean, I look at the dollar CAD and I'm thinking, man, that is a really really strong move. And if you look intraday, we've worked off these oversold conditions. We were oversold. Here's your RSI. Now we've just consolidated. Relative strength can break right back down again. And I know, Ryan, you were pointing out this level. I have it in teal. It's about 30
20
pips away
away.
from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, not very far. I don't know if I want to fade that though. I don't know. This move has been so strong. I mean, I've watched a lot of people try buying the dollar Canadian over the last several days, and they've just been bleeding out. It's been a nasty move.
Yeah, I gave it a couple of goes against a couple of big levels that I've got, but yeah, I mean you're not going to trade this one 10 minutes before a CPI report when we're 30 pips away, and you're not going to trade it 10 minutes before the NFP if we're 30 pips away. But that's
Right.
why let the data flush out and see which side we're sitting on afterwards.
Yeah. All right. Well, and I know data's coming out in just a few minutes, and then K-Man, you were talking about this yen. I'll tell you, this yen's looking a little vulnerable. I know we have the BOJ this week. I'm just more watching it if we break, to the downside at this point. I mean, whenever you get close to a break point, which if we were at 156.70, I'd be looking for an upside break. I mean, we're at support. Do you think the yen can strengthen post BOJ? I mean,
Yeah,
I know yields are going to be at like 30 whatever year highs.
mm,
Rates are,
yeah, but
excuse me.
I'm not sure. I haven't actually looked at the very long-term yields in yen, but yes, the obviously the 10-year is still hovering just below that 2%. I think there could be more damage or bigger moves coming on the back of that U.S. jobs report first of all, and then once that is digested, then we will look at what's happening into the BOJ. But as I said, I mean, keep an eye on those yen crosses as well. I'm I just could see. I said it on the flow show as well. I'm not as bearish yen right now going into this week until the Bank of Japan, and then we will see what the yen is made of. But yeah, it's an interesting development, especially if the Bank of Japan would leave the door open, which they should, for another rate hike. We don't know when in the future. Could last another year. But what the reaction will be of the market if people don't buy yen right then. I mean, then it's probably going to mean really bad news for the yen.
Yeah, I mean, these are rates that we really haven't seen since the early
No,
90s,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. They
So
have
what really is a crisis? I was thinking about this.
Deflation?
Is a crisis an unwind of the carry trade, or the yen, U.S. dollar yen getting above 160 and they can't stop it? Which is the
they
bigger risk?
I think they will. They can't stop it. They will stop it at first. They will put it
Okay,
five,
they'll
600
try.
pips lower.
Yeah,
But and we have been speaking about that, and especially on the Flow Show. But a few weeks back or so after Takaichi got the role, I said MOF should have, at their first warning, shouldn't even have waited. They should have already intervened and let the market know there will be no speculation allowed. Yes, it could have been a big task, but I think now they have
it's bigger
exposed
now.
themselves. They have exposed themselves to
Yeah,
to a flush out of yen and the breakup of the carry trade. I mean, even with interest rates in Japan, in short term at 1%, right? So they add another 0.5% of where they are now. You're still compared to, apart from Switzerland, you're still the lowest currency in
right.
interest rates, and you know that Takaichi is going to spend money. There's a lot of big spending planned money. So I mean, to kill the carry trade, yeah, I mean, it depends which against which currency you're talking about, but I would still think that Japan and Mrs. Watanabe's sons and nephews, because they have been adding the whole family since COVID, they will still keep a part of their holdings outside,
By the way,
unless
we're less
yeah.
than 30
Oh yeah,
seconds
yeah,
away
yeah, yeah.
from
Yeah,
Canadian
go ahead.
CPI.
And no, unless the companies come in with 6% wage hikes and they keep the money at home to put everything in the Nikkei, right?
All right, we're about 10 seconds away from Canadian CPI here. Just watch this cat. I don't have any exposure. Do you guys have any exposure here?
No.
No, Aussie.
I'm long Kiwis. Oh, weak.
Yeah, slightly weaker. It's in line, unchanged on year. The core number though has
Core.
come in a little
Yeah.
bit softer.
Yeah.
Yeah, trimmed is coming in. Trimmed and medium are coming in a bit softer, but 2.8 is still towards the top end of their expectations.
But look at the U.S. Empire State Manufacturing. I mean, that data is not good. But that's a pretty volatile piece of data. But that it's not going to help the dollar's cause right now, or case. And if you look, just FYI, you have. I know we've talked a lot about it, and I just want to make sure that I reference it here. The dollar index is in a bear flag pattern right now, and this is one of those end of year things. You got a lot of people really talking trash about the dollar, and if we have just underwhelming U.S. data this week, especially tomorrow with the jobs report and the inflation report and retail sales on Thursday. If all that data comes in weak, my assumption is the dollar is going to be trading at the bottom end of this range, which, by the way, would be right on top of that 14-year trend line. But the dollar overall, I mean, we sold off this year and we've just been consolidating losses. It does look vulnerable. I think the euro looks possible that we could trade 119 by year end, and that's not a good thing for the dollar. It would put the dollar in a very precarious situation going into the beginning of next year. You guys have any thing you want to add to that while Dale's looking for his guest?
He's here.
Oh, has he accepted?
No, Andrew, please accept the promotion, and then you could go back to cannabis stocks after we talk.
All right, Ryan, any last minute thoughts on the dollar?
Your dollar's crap, mate. Pound is where it's at. Joking.
Okay. All right, I'll take it. I see Steve here. Steve, any comments on the dollar? I know you've been bearish, so we can't hear you, Steve.
How about the ruble?
Just because he sounds Russian, we can't hear Steve at all. Yeah.
I don't see anything changed, Blake.
Oh, okay. Still bearish at all. And by the way, to get Steve's views, he's going to be on the Morning Edge in a few minutes. We ran out of time there. K-Man, any last minute views on the dollar here?
Well, in general, still unchanged. Rather leaning towards the weaker dollar, and that's about it.
Okay.
But be selective. Right. Not all dollars are equal, right?
That's correct. Definitely the case. All right. Well, Dale, I see that you do have your guest here, so I hope you have a great interview. Traders, it's going to be a really, really busy week this week. So make sure you're here with us tomorrow. We're going to have the jobs report, instant reaction tomorrow. Wednesday's bunch of data as well. And then let's see, on Wednesday, we're going to have actually, now that I'm looking at it, we don't have a lot of data on Wednesday. I thought we had something trickling in on Wednesday, but we really just have more Fed speak. But Thursday's going to be a really busy day, and then Friday we're going to be wrapping things up. So make sure you're here with us every day this week at this time. Dale, have a great interview, and pass it over to you and Andrew.
Thank you, Santa. Thank you.
You know what? It's funny. I actually went to the grocery store on Friday. My son came back from Ole Miss from college, and I had to go run to the grocery store to get some stuff. So a Santa impersonator, or no, not impersonator. A guy that's a Santa guy. That looks like Santa.
Yeah.
He comes rolling up. He's got his like Santa shirt on, like a t-shirt. He's got his white beard. He's got a Santa cap on, wearing like jeans. Yeah. But he came buzzing by me in the parking lot in a red Cadillac Escalade. And I looked at him. I'm like, shit, that guy looks like Santa. And then he got out, and I'm like, I had to go shake
Yeah,
his hand. I'm like, I love the
uh,
outfit.
yeah,
I love the Cadillac. He's like, I'm like, I love the whole getup. It was amazing. It was the most
yeah.
amazing thing I've seen in a
It's like
while.
the 2025 version
Yeah,
of Chris
it
Green,
was
the new
absolutely
sled.
awesome. It was
Yeah.
awesome. Anyway, all right, I'll pass it over to you. That's
All
my
right.
story of the
Thanks,
day.
Blake.
All right.
Thank you, K-Man. Thank you, Ryan. Guys,
Cheers,
have a
mate.
good day. Andrew O'Connell, you made one of the calls of the year when people were ready to jump out of windows that were long cannabis stocks that were down 90%. And you started talking about it during the base before the first wave up. And here we go. We had another wave happening here. Congratulations and welcome back to Face, Andrew.
Yeah, what's going on, Dale? Thank you so much, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a nail biter on this trade for sure, but yeah, it's awesome to see it finally blossoming.
So you think that this is going to get done before the end of the year, or what is it? It's got to be more than talk because people have voted with their wallet. I remember Cureleaf was 80 cents. I owned some from there. I didn't stay with it, but now it's what, $354. All of them have done that.
Yeah, I think it's well beyond the phase of just, like a talk. I think
Yeah,
prior to the election, Trump basically advocated and campaigned. He said, "Hey, I think we should leave it up to the states. We should reschedule cannabis. We should have banking laws that allow these companies to bank like other companies."
right,
And so that was sort of like the talking rumor phase of like,
right.
hey, he said this, but maybe he's not going to do it. Now we're actually getting to the implementation phase. So we've seen a lot of things like we saw a crackdown on hemp, which is
Oh
essentially
yeah,
illicit cannabis. Yeah,
right.
so we
And
saw that.
people sold off. That was a great break to buy on the cannabis stocks. It was like one of the excuses for a break to accumulate. I remember thinking that
Exactly.
might happen. It looked ugly that day, but it was, if you want to share your screen, kind
Yeah.
of show people how, you had the first wave up and then there was no way to, even though you had to be patient for another 2, 3 months, it was a normal consolidation pattern after a pretty big run off the lows.
Yeah, let's
So,
take a look here. I'm going to share my screen.
yeah,
Yeah, so we can look at the chart and we can go through really just all the breadcrumbs from this trade. Let me know if you can see my screen.
yeah, yeah, you
Okay,
were
so
talking about it back in, it must have been June of last year, July of this year, because this was going to be your asymmetric trade to win the U.S. Trading Championship.
exactly. So
What
yeah,
a memory.
exactly. Yeah, that was our last interview. So if you look back here, this this headline came out. The incoming DEA head says
Yeah,
cannabis rescheduling will be one of his top priorities. If we go even further back, you can see evidence that Trump was basically saying he was in favor of this industry and was going to enact some reform. But yeah, you can
yeah,
see really all of the breadcrumbs. Trump says he'll make a marijuana rescheduling decision over the next few weeks.
yeah,
That was really like the big
yeah,
like banana peel people could have fallen for, where if you really took them at face value that it's going to be a few weeks, it ended up being a few months. And then
right.
that hemp ban took effect
Yeah,
right over here in the beginning of November. And that's when the space really took a spill.
yeah,
And then over here, Trump advisor says White House is close to rescheduling cannabis. Really, just this group. The thing is, no one covers this group. Like, there's really no sell side research on this group.
yeah,
Everyone that was covering it has pretty much taken their ball and gone home. The securities are pretty much traded OTC, so people can't really
yes,
access them. And so that's
right.
why you can get such big moves, to the downside and the upside when you get good or bad news in this space.
Look at the volume on the recent announcement. That's the biggest volume day on your chart.
Yeah, this HVE stands for highest volume ever. So since
Okay, ever.
inception of this ETF, this
Hmm.
was the highest volume day. The volume run rate was 856% on Friday.
Okay. So $10 $10 coming? I think I saw it's kind of been in a range between what, four, uh, two and six. So four
Yeah, so
bucks above six, gonna give you $10 on this. Okay, you have 978 up there.
yeah, so this is the yearly value area. So this is showing us where one
Hmm,
standard deviation of the price action in the prior year occurred. So this is
yeah,
really just showing us the 2024 range.
right.
And as we can see here, we haven't really even gotten back into the 2024 range yet.
Yeah,
So yeah, I definitely think if we get the follow through and there's an executive order and Trump says, hey, the rescheduling, you know, all hands on deck, it's happening, which I believe is going to be the case, then yeah, I really think these stocks could go on a real sustained bull run. And I think, yeah, that could bring us up to this 978 level around $10. And I think, potentially even beyond there.
yeah. I mean, the only negative I could think for like just a minor pullback would be that most people weren't buying when you were, and that
Yeah.
this rally is made. They probably still have losses from the years before, and that there might be a little, harvesting some tax losses
Yeah,
on
that's
these.
definitely a thing. Yeah, whenever an asset is well off of its highs like this,
Yeah,
and then it's trying to make its way back to that price range, yeah, you always get overhead supply that comes in. And that's why for me, it is so important to really get a good cost basis and start accumulating these things when the big asymmetry is there. Because my accumulation zone was really all
yeah,
throughout here in this base. So for
yeah.
me, if we get a pullback, if this
Doesn't
thing pulls
matter.
back 10%, yeah, it's not really that big of a deal
Right.
because I'm really following the longer term story. And then also the fundamentals of these companies. Like if you look at this company, Trulieve, this is one of the top US stocks in the group. And right now, like it rallied 60% on Friday. Yeah,
Yeah,
63%. It's trading at 1.39 price to sales. So it's basically trading at one time sales. If we
yeah,
look at the other big dog in the space, Green Thumb, and this company's trading at 1.72 times sales. And if we compare that to, something else like these companies, they have sales, they have cash flows. If
yeah,
you compare it to like a quantum stock, for example, like this company Rigetti, it's
yeah.
trading, well off of its highs. It trades at a price to sales ratio of over 1,000. If you look at a
Wow.
lot of these companies, really like if you pick any stock, it's going to be trading at a pretty high sales multiple. Like if you just look at like a software company like Datadog, you can see this trades for almost 15 times sales. So yeah, I think this group, when I think about the asymmetry, no one owns it because pretty much no institutions could own it.
Right,
Most retail people have gotten, just knocked out of this thing.
right.
If the rescheduling happens, these companies could end up re-rating because they could really start getting included in healthcare ETFs. That's something not many people are thinking about, but cannabis
Interesting.
is
Yeah,
medicine. There's 40
yeah,
states that have medical cannabis programs. So
yes.
these really are healthcare stocks.
Okay. I just got a question from one of our attendees. Jim Valentine would like to know that he keeps reading reports on potential industrial uses. That's more for hemp, isn't it? Or they have industrial uses for cannabis?
Yeah, that's the hemp side. Yeah,
That's the hemp
so
side. Yeah.
yeah, so with the hemp ban that just took effect, or it hasn't taken effect yet, it's going to take effect next November.
Hmm.
That's going to get rid of a lot of the intoxicating hemp products.
Yeah.
But regular hemp products like those industrial use cases, those are still going to be perfectly fine.
Yeah. Marinol's been around for a long time, RJP. Yeah, long time. Okay, so have the championships wound down for the year? How'd you do this year?
Oh, so I'm going to find out. The competition always goes, from the start of the year to the end of the year. So I'll
Yeah,
find out where I place. The competition ends on the 31st.
okay. You know where
So
you
we'll see.
stand now?
I think right now, I
Top
think I'm in
10?
like, yeah, I think I'm in third or fourth place right now.
Okay.
So we'll
All
see. Yeah,
right.
this is my third year competing. Last year I came in fourth place.
Yeah.
And so we'll see about this year, and then I'm already signed up for next year as well. So I'm really just trying to build a track record,
Yeah.
5, 10 years, something like that.
Okay. So this is going to be a continuing story. Been kind of a change of nature in the markets. Do you think it's time to any rallies and semis that you get out, the AI trade kind of unwinding? I've heard a lot of things. I want your opinion on this. Is that oil compared to almost everything is at historically cheap levels. Are you looking at any energy stock plays for next year?
Energy, not so much because this was such an excellent year for energy. So there was like an awesome move in nuclear stocks, an
Okay,
awesome
yes.
move in solar stocks, really like all the energy that's going to power these data centers. But yeah, like
Yeah.
if you look at this stock like GE Vernova,
Hmm.
this one is a huge leader. There's this company, Bloom Energy, that, was a leader. Now it looks like it's
Go
getting a little
ahead.
bit worse.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, in terms of some of these like more traditional energy companies, these I'm not looking too much at because yeah, the
Okay.
price of crude is so low. So yeah, I'm not really looking too much at these.
Okay. What are you looking at?
So what I'm looking at right now is Nvidia looks like it could be putting in a top.
Okay.
So if we look, the story behind Nvidia, I think, is starting to get impaired. And
Yeah.
it's because Google now has the best AI model, and they are primarily using their own TPUs, not NVIDIA GPUs. So
Wasn't Broadcom more involved with them than
yes,
NVIDIA? Okay.
yeah,
And
Broadcom helps those other companies create their own chips.
okay.
So yeah, Broadcom, that's almost like the other side of the coin of NVIDIA. And Broadcom also reported earnings last week. From what I saw, it looked like an excellent earnings report. Like you can
Yeah,
see
well,
here.
so we're NVIDIA's.
Exactly, yeah. So
So
that's
they're selling good news.
yeah. And that's like, Trader 101. Like you've been doing this for a long
Hmm.
time. Like, if after a multi 100% move, the companies are putting up excellent earnings and then they're being sold off, it just
So are
tells you that
you
a lot of people already own them.
are you looking for shorts
I
for the
am.
competition next year? So I'm interested in how are you just going to short the stock, or how are you going to play the short side of looks like pretty much tech?
Yeah, so to be honest, Nvidia is going to be one where I am going to buy some put options on Nvidia, and I'm going
Okay.
to be shopping for those during this holiday season. But to
Okay.
be honest, like Nvidia, it has so much cash flow and earnings that yeah, maybe Nvidia has a big downside move, but the one that I really just think is so ripe is
Palantir.
Palantir.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Okay.
one,
Okay.
the reason why I think this one is just so darn ripe to be shorted and not really on like, a day trading time frame, like who knows what
Yeah.
this thing does over the next week or whatever, I certainly don't.
Yeah.
But if
Looks
you
like a
look,
head
it's
and shoulders.
yeah, so we had this prior high and now we
Yeah.
definitely have to watch out to see if we make a lower high here, which I think it's
Yeah.
going to. But really, the crux of it for me is if you look at the price to sales ratio, it's over 100.
Wow.
And so, like, for example, like this company is trading at a $400 billion market cap. And if you look at the sales, now they're coming up on like a billion in sales every quarter, which is awesome. But if you look at like a company like, let's say DocuSign, which is an awesome software company,
Yeah.
DocuSign also has almost a billion every quarter, not quite. Um, but if you look, trading at a $14 billion market cap, and it's only trading at a price sales ratio of 4.5. The
Yeah.
last time I saw companies trading at a price to sales ratio of 100 was during the COVID bubble. This stock, Cloudflare, got to 100 times price to sale. Like, let me actually just do this replay real quick and it'll update the numbers. So if we look like when it was at its highs, this is a really cool feature in TradingView. Not many people use it. So I just replayed in my fundamental table updated. Look at the price to sales ratio on Cloudflare. It was 90.
Yeah.
And if you look, yeah, when this thing was topping up at 93, 97, but it couldn't really sustain 100. And if you look at what happened when it was trading at a price to sales ratio of, pretty much 100, the sales were only, 100 million every quarter, all the way up to 172. If we exit this replay, remember 100 million in sales every quarter. The market cap was 50 billion. Now, if you look at how much they sell today, the sales are now 500 million a quarter. And if you look at the price to sales ratio, still pretty high, but it's at a 31. And the market cap's only 63 billion. So I think Palantir, with the way that it's priced, I've just never seen a stock be able to sustain that. So I really think even if this company keeps growing, if they double their sales over the next year again, and they get up to like 2 billion every quarter, I still think this stock is just incredibly vulnerable. So I
Do you
just
have
think it's at a
down,
point where too many people own it.
do you have downside objectives for where it could go to that will determine upon, like, when you go into a put position, normally how much time do you buy and how are you near the money? How do you structure, like, how would you structure an option trade here in Palantir in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, so I would be looking at leaps because again, like the
Leaps.
stock, it could go
Okay.
up 10% today, it could go up
Yeah.
12% tomorrow, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking for options that are maybe a year out and
Okay.
sizing them small in my portfolio. Where if Palantir rallies 30% over the next 2 weeks, which it definitely could, a size in such a way where I'm not like sweating bullets, where it's just like, oh, okay, no big deal. So yeah, I would really just want to give this one about a year. Typically, when I trade put options, I go slightly in the money. But I think this one, there's just such an asymmetry where I might go slightly out of the money. And then in terms of objectives, this is the new yearly value area that's going to be lit up right when we flip over to January.
Yeah.
So like even if you think about it, like just playing to the top of this yearly value area, even if you're not like super aggressive, that's a 17% move to the downside. That would just be normal price action.
Right.
And then this level down here is the most highly traded level of the year 2025 that we're in right now.
And there's a
So
gap there. A
yeah, so if
little.
we were to return back to the most highly traded level of 2025, where most
It's
people's
80
cost
bucks.
basis is, that's a 52% drop. So that's why I see a lot of asymmetry. In terms of the upside, I don't really know how much further you can get when you're already at like 107 times sales. It's definitely possible, but if
You know,
if I
their
lose that
their
one,
their
it's all good.
CEO, what's their CEO's name again?
I think
He's
it's
in
Alex
the,
Karp, something like
yeah,
that.
he really came out and was very upset when he heard about the Michael Berry trade of being bearish Palantir and that
Yeah,
drop. And to me that wasn't a good sign. It's like methinks thou protest too much. And kind of painting it as a patriotic stock that, was a little small investor that got very wealthy on Palantir, and these are bad guys for shorting the stock. And that really, yeah, I can imagine guy's gonna have a stroke at $80. They take it down there. So anyway, I just to me it was kind of a market tell. I mean, it's been a huge move. It was a $10 stock, you know.
yeah,
Um,
not too
so,
long ago.
yeah. So I mean, great views, man. Tell us what you're doing? You're teaching and mentoring some people nowadays, aren't you?
Yeah, so I write a Substack publication. It's called pristinecapital.net. And I
Okay.
really just put my heart and soul into this thing. And I do a research note every Monday through Thursday. And then I do a weekend research note. So pretty much everything that we talked about was in this research note that I just put out yesterday, going through all this stuff, talking about Palantir and where it's trading and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you visit me on Substack, it's very affordable. And yeah, it's me just sharing the research that I'm doing for this contest.
Okay. All right, well, I hope you finish strong. I hope you win it, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you.
And I want to thank you for a lot of people that I spread the word. I was looking at that base when you came on. I considered it kind of like confirmation.
Mhm.
When good traders are looking at similar things for different reasons, and I think a lot of people caught that stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so congratulations on a great call, and just my, in my most humble and extremely accurate opinion, I think Palantir is a great short. So I'll be looking at that too. And so thanks for coming here with, not a bunch of hedged views, but with actionable ideas for the community. Want to thank you for your giving spirit because I know you work hard to come up with these conclusions. So, uh, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and hope you finish high in the National Trading Championship, Andrew.
Thank you so much, Dale. Talk soon. Merry Christmas.
Okay. Merry Christmas, Andrew O'Connell, everyone. Follow him on X at Pristine, Real Pristine Capital. Check out his Substack because, just one good idea is sometimes is all it took. If you did nothing but own some cannabis stocks from 6, 8 months ago, you had a good decade. Anyway, that's a wrap for me, everyone. Hope you have a good rest of the trading day and see everyone tomorrow. I'm not sure of the schedule, Jim. We'll ask Blake later. And don't just count your bongs and your joints, all right, and your pipes. Count your blessings. See everyone tomorrow. Adios.